1940s, we experienced something very primitive compared to what Lakeland College is today. We had only 3 intercollegiate conference competitions: football, basketball, and track. When I came on the campus as a pole vaulter, we didn't have any pole vault pit, and I dug my own. We did not have a track. We did not have a baseball field. We did not have a tennis court. We had Founder's Gym, and we had a football field. I broke my pole, and I couldn't compete anymore because the college only had one pole vault. But we were competitive because we had the heart, and we had good coaching. We were a group that played together. We were very successful, winning many football conference championships, many track and field championships, and only one basketball championship in 1946. Why did we win against teams like Platteville and Milton and Lawrence? A lot of good teams, but we were successful because our teams played together. We were a family of Mission House students, and that carried through onto the basketball, football, track activity fields. And believe me, that carried on through all of our lives. It was the spirit of Mission House, as it is the spirit of Lakeland College today, and that spirit, believe me, will never die.
I attended Mission House Lakeland from 1954 to 58. Mission House and Lakeland had some really good teams, by the way. Back in 1950, won an undefeated season, and I saw them play because I was a freshman in high school at that time, and they were good, and I mean good. Names like Louis Bloim and so on that will go down in history at Lakeland and Mission House. We really had teams that were true participants and wanted to win. We had a winning feeling. We won the championship in football in 1955, and we had one loss, which we never should have had, to Milwaukee Extension, but we had a 5-1 record, and we had a good record. In fact, we beat Northwestern College in Watertown 44-0, and it was kind of a redemption for us because 2 years prior to that, Northwestern beat Mission House College 72-6, and Coach John Allen didn't mind having 44 points. Maybe he wouldn't mind even having a few more. There was some good athletes, and there were good times, and there were good participants. I think it was just a time in the 50s that everyone can say athletics was a big part of the college life, and that teamwork between fellas was really there all the time.
Well, we played in the old Founder's Gym, which we referred to as Welty Arena, and named after Dean Welty. I don't know if you remember when Dean Welty was here or not. Very small gymnasium. Most of the gymnasiums were small, so that's as a consequence we always played at the Sheboygan Armory for our games. Moose had just gotten here, I think, about 2 or 3 years, and he was rebuilding. Grigas was the coach before Moose came. So many of the players I played with had been recruited by Grigas, like Gary Hovey, Jim Keeter. It was kind of merging 2 different styles of coaching, what Grigas left here and what Moose was trying to build. We had some real good camaraderie then. We had very good camaraderie. Everybody got along. Moose was kind of like the father figure for us. He wasn't just a coach. He dealt with us on and off the court. One of the things that Moose told me that I always remembered when I was a sophomore, he said, "Stu, you can be an All-American. All you have to do is 3 things, and do those 3 things well. And it was rebound, shoot free throws, and stay in the hole. He said if you do those 3 things, you can be an All-American. The football and basketball teams were the cornerstone of the athletic department when I was there. I mean, they had a golf team, they had a cross-country team, I think they even had tennis teams, but the cornerstone, I think, was the winningness that went on when Moose was there. And all of that was contagious. We had a certain pride that we had, there was a certain pride about it that was going on then, that was going on at that particular time.
1970, the start of the 70s. We were involved in an escalating war in Vietnam. This was something that added pressure to every athlete alike. You had to play your game, you had to practice, and you had to study. And if you screwed up in school, Uncle Sam was going to pluck you right out, and you were gone. It added a lot of pressure. Because I remember on some of our trips that we took on away games, and I know football players did it too when they traveled on the bus, they were studying. Hard to believe, but they were studying. They were going to keep their grades and they were going to get through their schooling. And I know they were very close-knit teams, more so than I even saw in high school though. And that was probably because of some of these reasons. Basketball team, football team, baseball team, wrestling, trap and skeet teams, they would sit and eat together before they'd go to their matches. They had very strong points that they were held together, and you didn't let a teammate down. And I was very impressed with that with Lakeland College, more so than you'd ever believe.
I guess maybe we didn't really think of it at the time in terms of being the pioneers of women's basketball out here, but we were good. We played well as a team all 4 years. We did a lot of good things. So now when you look back on it, and the teams nowadays refer to our teams in the 80s as, you know, the pioneers and the ones who got us the start to where they are now with women's basketball out here. It's a nice feeling. We were the first Lakeland women's team to beat a state school, which was probably the highlight of my entire 4 years out here, is when we beat UW Superior. You know, each year we got better and we did better things. And, you know, my last 2 years here, we definitely were usually at the top of the conference and predicted to be at the top of the conference. You know, we were the first year that the Ware Center was open, so that was quite an exciting time out here at Lakeland College for the athletes. State-of-the-art facility, which was a little bit of what Coach Klein drew me in with when he was recruiting me, was that the Ware Center was going to be opening, state-of-the-art facility, all that stuff. You know, the community out here is what stuck with me, and still does. Even when I come out here for the alumni games or I come out here for some of the sporting events, that's what sticks with me, is the community, the sense of community out here.
When we first got here to Lakeland, football had been struggling. In fact, I think my freshman year, Coach Roy brought in, I want to say 70 freshmen that year. It was kind of refreshing new start for the program, and we actually won 4 games that first year, and the excitement built. The next year I think we went 6-3-1 and even more, and then we went on the course to win 18 straight, and we packed the house here quite a bit, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to be around the whole school. So our basketball teams were great during those 90s years. We'd always go watch those guys, and the girls too. But that was really fun. We'd make sure we hit those games, and they'd come see our games, and I think a lot of people here at Lakeland are athletes. So I mean, you kind of intermix lunch and classes, and you see everyone together, and it was really good. It was really fun to watch those guys participate as well. I don't think we ever thought we were putting on a show. We just had fun. It was just we were going out to do something, and we had fun doing it. And I think everyone got along real well together, and that made it easier for our success. The people here are top-notch quality people, down to earth, always looking to help people out, and that really has stuck with me till this day.
It really was a great time for sports during the 2000s for sure. My senior year, we ended up 26-3 that year, which was the best record ever for Lakeland women's basketball, and we got our bid into the NCAA tournament, and then we ended up hosting Milliken here, and we just packed that gym like so full, and the NCAA banners everywhere, and just the amount of people standing and everything. It was so cool. And later that spring, the baseball team, they were actually doing really well and got into the Division III College World Series. With the other sports, at Lakeland, the women's volleyball team was so strong. Like the entire 4 years I was there, and they were fun to watch. And football games, of course, with the homecomings and whatnot, that was always a neat atmosphere. And the baseball team was always great as well, and softball and soccer. And I think just with the atmosphere and the fans that came out to watch us play, it was unreal. Like every game, it was packed, and it made our jobs a lot easier out there on the court, relaxing, because they were just out there, being goofy and cheering and whatnot, and it made it a great place to play.